Much love to everybody.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is Eric in a covenant of love, coming to you through archaic symbolism and hoping to reach those of you that are good, that are real people, that are true to your other brothers and sisters that are following a good path. Now, the left-hand path and the right-hand path, we can debate on these things. We can debate in small measure what is good. But for the gentleman Venus Key, who is asking me lots of questions, I can only present to him vision, for he does not believe in a higher power. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that he doesn't believe in meditation and maybe finding a higher self, perhaps. But what I'm speaking of is what the true Hebrew Judaic religion is speaking of, and that is the universal principle, not to be confused with universalism or Catholicism, where they house dogma and all dogmatic principles. Within those things lie truth. Within those things lie amazing things. And while we debate the polar opposites that seem to somehow have broken into electric power, which I would say I would have to disagree somewhat, because if we look at Tesla, our planet is a generator, literally a generator, because and this is the thing with the sphere and this flat earth, and I really don't have the time to, in my perspective, it doesn't matter, and I'm not trying to ridicule, belittle, or be rude to people that are trying to research these type of things. It doesn't matter to me if the earth is flat at this point or a globe. I would assume things are globes only because of my own body. As above, so below. As within, so without. My sphere of protection within martial arts is a sphere. If I don't protect my crown, there's a thing called mantis form. And as mantis, you'll know they have these like things, right? Well, mantis is the cure-all to tiger. So tiger form is very circular, and it's inward, and it's dislocating joints, and it's pulling people into his sphere, his circle, because it is a circle. So your body is a human circle. And internal arts, while they don't get into forms such as I'm talking about, like the Taoists, there's a very limited source for what I'm talking about when I talk about forms, because trust me, nobody's teaching this stuff. I was lucky enough to bump into it as a 16-year-old, and it stuck to me this day. And the easiest way is to watch two cats fight. That's an easy way to see form, but to understand the complicity of the complicated, interwoven levels, especially if you've ever seen dragon form, true dragon form. So it's all open hand. It's very easy. So the basics are closed hand, but they have finger techniques, knuckle techniques, elbow techniques, knee techniques, forehead techniques, shin techniques. They got all the basics. Those are the basics, and those are hardened. You use iron palm. And if I seem to be going astray, I'm not. These things bring about a a larger aspect of the human psyche, the human fortitude, the human understanding of reality. So as we see the flower, so we see the iron sword. These things are parallel, and they are an understanding of something greater, a whole picture. So while one can say, well, evil is necessary, it is, but not in its greatest form. Evil in its greatest form is not necessary. You can debate me. This is my opinion. Goodness in its greatest form is necessary because of such great evil. But if one was to alleviate the international child pedophile rings, the massive amount of intricacies into these Boys Town black books, we can't get fooled by them presenting to you a dualistic principle. So while dualicity presents itself, it is a minor player in the universal true principle, which is not dogmatic Catholicism. While I do appreciate, and you can quote this right now, that the Jesuits, while in the imperialistic destruction, have given you universities and schools of learning which were not there before. So the balance now, because you have to understand, when things overcome things, there are new balances created. So when we say, the machine's been broken, not every machine's been broken. Not every human's been broken. Things are broken at times. There are people that achieve great things. You have to understand the multiplicity and the grandeur of, like a thread theory. You have to understand that it's impossible to understand everything that's going on, and therein lies the conceptual gift of becoming a mystic and the thought of trying to find a great father, a great creator. And why do I say a father? See, I'm not being patriarchal. I'm trying to be balanced because I understand that there's man and woman. So when you say, okay, but the angels were sexless. So they weren't unisexual, they were sexless. They were male-ish, right? That's neither here nor there. We're at a time where there's very little compassion. Very, very little compassion. So in this holy scriptures, people say, well, and these are letters that are very debatable. They talk about that the Holy Spirit will leave. That the Holy Spirit at the end of days will leave. That the four corners of earth. So again, if you look at some of my work, you'll see it's not four corners of earth, it's 8 corners of earth. Might be 64 corners of earth, or not. It'll still be 8 corners of earth, but it might be chopped into 64. If you're looking from a very narrow perspective, you're not seeing the gifts. So this right here is a picture from San Francisco, where this guy is still held in high esteem as one of the great magi. That has to do with the Temple of Set. It has to do with the Order of the Trapezoid. And this Mandela Effect, or whatever you guys are all talking about, I think you're looking at it, I'm not sure, because I don't even look at it, because I have to keep a train of thought even though it's very broad and you guys think that I'm all over the place, my train of thought has to be kept solid. So your Mandela effect is absolutely true, constantly. And I've explained that why you need to go get an old 1800 dictionary, and why getting Helen Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine won't do you shit if you don't have that old dictionary, because the words are removed. They didn't remove them by magic, they were removed. They didn't, the videos of the dark side of the moon that used to be on YouTube did not remove by themselves for some type of intellectual thought pattern that changed things. They were removed. So we have propaganda, we have things that are around us that are manipulating our perception and our reality. But at the same time, they were using us like metal, like we were malleable. They were being metallurgy. They were trying to forge us into being what I am today. So I could take everything that they said, and I could forge my own opinion, and I could force myself onto the internet, and I could be trying to make money, and I could learn to be well spoken and use my words specifically, and I could key up on speaking properly. And if I worked hard on this, I would be able to mentally manipulate people. That's not my goal. That's not why I'm here. I had a great vision. The great vision is not a great vision where I was struck down in the shower and God changed my life. He changed my life by not killing me. He changed my life by listening to a prayer. And this is something I cannot prove, I cannot show, there's nothing that I can do to make you believe my reality. And that's the beauty of hermetics, that's the beauty of true reality, is that this is your journey, and you can take a piece of things that I say, you can look at things that I say, but I'm not here to be this guy. While I am a Leo, and while my crest is my sign, and my eye color is my birthstone, this is my journey. It's not your journey. And I don't know where I'm ending up. I have no idea. I have no idea what is to come. While I see many things which will come to pass, that does not mean that I see the future. I am intelligently gifted in that I am looking at the giant picture. Okay? And it is a very large picture. It is a very broad picture. And while I could very, very well internalize my work. Okay, I could leave you guys completely behind. I can internalize my work, and I could become, in martial arts, a great master within myself. And at some point, it really has nothing to do with physical. It has nothing to do with physical combat, which I would really try to promote for those of you that are studying. It has to do with, like one of the greatest Sikh brothers, the one that's on the opposite end, the one that's eating the shit crackers and the blood crackers and the semen crackers. It is that I can make time itself malleable. In martial arts, they call it time dilation. Some will say it's a shift in the brain, but it's more than that. It's more than that for anybody that's done it. When you can use your mind to make people think certain ways, and you guys can say whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm being very honest with you. I usually don't talk about this type of internal work. But if your vision is to be evil, and listen, Eliphas Levi is one of my favorite authors. Without him, what a great stepping stone. His book on evil, How to Be Evil, is actually a book on how to be good. He's giving you the simple gift. It's a simple gift, and it just depends how you decide to use it. So, am I a magi? Do I practice mag? No, I don't need to. There's nothing in it. The work is in you, and you can externalize, like I do with love, or you can internalize and make a kingdom for yourself. It just depends on what you're trying to do. I myself personally found myself here because of hate. And the hate, while it does wear on me, polishes me. It hones me. It smooths out my planes, my flat surfaces, right? Makes my corners sharper, the lines sharper. It makes my work more beautiful. It makes me more beautiful to myself. But at the same time, like I say, every 3 or 4 months, I have to, probably every 2 to 3 months, I have to break down. Okay, there's a lot of energy around all of us and all the things we are doing because we are actually taking reality and making it malleable. And I've done this on a very grand scale, which most of you will never ever see or understand. But you will see that I have done great work. And my great work was first and foremost to allow the average human being to not be pushed around so that they, on this internet, this interwebs, could get the books that they needed. The books to make choices, the books to develop intellect, to decipher their own consciousness and say, where do I want to take it? I have given the ability, personally, I have given this personal ability through the sickness that was the work that we were first involved in. There was nothing on here in the beginning. We had the Gnosis channel, I believe, who, when you spoke to him, would not reply. You had nothing on Lucifer. Lucifer was the devil. There was no allegory spoken of. And there's a lot of people on here claiming a lot of things. They weren't here. And the things that they're saying were not here. And the beauty of them having many, many, many channels is they don't have to actually be complicit in their own truth. They don't have to actually supply the original works that they say that they've done, because it's just not there. They've been taken down. And most of which was through violence, arrogance, and mental illness. While I have stayed here and been very consistent, and there are a lot of people here that want to take me down, trust me, because they don't know, they don't see, and this is the beauty of who I am, they never know when I'm going to start to put things out. It's not my job. I'm a middleman for peace. I'm a middleman for justice. I'm merely here to help you have an avenue to get your studies on. I'm not here to show that Mac, well, he made some great claims lately, and I'm like, well, where are those videos, because you never made them? And while I love you as a brother and I understand your issues, you're laying claims to things that you've never done. You've never put out the alphabet. You've never done the work that I've done. I put out those works. You took those works. You've taken my pictures. You took the sun because it was the Jewish star. You took the churches I put out and you tried to conceal them. You're the new better Mac. And look, man, brother, I want you to heal up, and I love you, man. For everything that you've done to me and everything you put me through, while you'll say it's tough love, it was in the greatest and broadest sense, which actually had nothing to do with you. It prepared me for the whole internet, the whole network, not necessarily overcoming you. It allowed me to see how this system operates, and it allowed me to better myself within this system. So while you are talking about the eclipse now, which I'm really enjoying, and what I would put to you, and I would put to anybody that listens to me, that listens to you, and you don't have to talk, you don't have to comment on this video, and don't comment on his, but where exactly are we in time? So I see Venus, and from people that I've encountered on Facebook, I was able to find that that Venus is in the Palladian system and will be gone by 2012. So the thing that I'm working on and that I see is Venus, but where, because she's perfect, she's utterly perfect in a sense. Where does she lie within your ultimate eclipse, the greatest eclipse in 25,920 years? So the Mandela Effect is they're mathematically, well, you're this off, you're that. There's so much offs. But if we just keep to the first work and just explain it to where it possibly could be in the cleanest methods of what is given to us, then I would really enjoy hearing a video. You have said to me many times, and this is being an honest human being, I'm not, a couple times you have said to me, I could teach you so much. Well, now I'm asking. You have said to me, you never ask any questions. Now I'm asking. So, the reason I made this video, and as you know, I always digress when I get into the flow of what the Father is, and that is the great spirit of all things, which is creation. So it is the positive. So you can't, you have to have something to get at nothing. So, and I'm gonna put this, and I want you to respect what I'm saying and don't take it in a vulgar manner, because we're surrounded by the vulgarity, the taking of the beauty of what life is. And we can take this for plants, right? And plants mimic us quite well, but we have the seed or the pollen that impregnates or gives birth to. The obelisk or the maypole or the poles. These poles are all around the world. In India, they're just wood poles surrounded by rock. In different areas, you will find the pole. It is not always an obelisk. The obelisk is really the highest civility of which it was home to, though it can be seen in cathedrals and other things. The premise is the stars. So the constellations, and I can show you this physically in LA, which again, if anybody has anything that they would like to help me film, I can show this in reality. Absolutely. It is a beautiful thing. And to me, it's not broken. It's a gift. So I disagree with some people where they say man and woman like there's no balance. So because we were thrown out of the garden, now man and woman are trash. No. And we'll have people talk about, well, Adam and Eve were something else, and it wasn't even. Listen, Book of Genesis has got a lot of stuff in it from other areas. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you have people like, this is the reason I made this video, you have people like Ken 2234 and what is his name, Rock Christ. Some people are saying he's the same person. I don't know. And I really, to be honest with you, I could give a fuck less. His work is absolute nonsense. While he may show you threads of something that you may find, which is why the books are so important, is when you, and this is I'm repeating myself, but you, Morals and Dogma, Secret Doctrine, Unveiling Isis, yes, Helen Blavatsky may have been this and may have been that, and at the end of the day, she may have been an idol worshiper. She developed this Aryan thing with all the white supremacists, blah, 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 all that shit. That's not what it's about. It's about taking language in a big-ass form, a nice, thick-ass book, seeing comparative religion, seeing, especially within like Helen Blavatsky, where she's talking about like the moon race that made the human race. To just conceive, to try to conceive and then clean it up, to conceive all this, to have all the, and this is why they talk imagination, and they talk about SpongeBob, and they're like, well, SpongeBob is lowering the IQ of kids. They're giving you a simple premise. as well as the Mystery Mobile with the Scooby and the Scooby snacks, the whole bit. And they show you what the dog is, and they get them to do. It's all there. It is for the mystic, the true mystic that has their childhood memories. And I just watched something, and it actually was Ray Donovan. Really love Ray Donovan. But she's in the car with Ray Donovan, and she starts talking about when she was 4, and Ray's like, you remember that? And she's like, I remember everything. And that's who I am. That's what I am. So it has its positives and it has its negatives, but to remember, and then there are years that I don't remember, and you guys can connect the dots if you want. You know, like Bowie doesn't remember 1976. I remember being 3. You know, I remember. I mean, I can photographically see it in my mind. And I understand the questions that I had at 3 years old are the questions that the greatest scientists are still asking. And I just want to share with you the ability to have compassion, to overcome the hell that is this planet sometimes. There are children that are in complete, utter hell right now. And there are other children that will grow up to be great people. The structure is controlled, and the structure makes you wonder. It makes you question. And we can talk about the Calvinism where heaven is here already, and the Jesuits have already been given the Hoc de Vita, and here they are. They're going to rule the world. And in some cases, they may install Islam across the entire planet, where women will be covered, and their faces will be unseen, and people will be stoned, and heads will be chopped, and Christianity is faltering. We're in a big, big game. Now the players what the fuck? What just happened? What the fuck? Sorry about that. Now the players, well, listen, any great movie has its twists. I do not think in any way, shape, or form that we have seen what is really going to happen, that we see the players. If you see the players, you don't see the players. When I went to an area by where I go to do my daily chores, and I saw the dedication building, and I saw the dedication statue, and it was Dagon, right? And then one day I'm searching through pictures because, as you know, I use many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures, which, by the way, all go into my brain, and I remember all the pictures. So everything that you see that I'm doing, and you guys really most of you do not understand that I literally have in my brain everything that I'm doing. Now, I can't always call it up, and that's the fun part, is that you can say it's me being a retard or Alzheimer's, but sometimes God just doesn't want me to tell people, and at other times, I'm a vault of information, and I don't try to push it. And more and more, I'm finding myself having to be quiet, but the computer is still here. I am in my mind is a computer. So in going through these pictures, I found the exact same. I don't know. I guess it would be called a statue, but the exact same statue in the heart of Italy. Just by chance, I just bumped into it, and that's the beauty. When you do your due diligence, you keep bumping into what you need to know. So let's get into the video. This is who I'm really talking about here today. This individual today is bringing up somebody that committed suicide. And I'm not going to get into his video. I'm not going to get into his video because he doesn't deserve the respect. He hasn't earned the respect. His hardcore, unfounded racism. Not to say that the planet, all the people haven't killed, It is his use of, first off, that he thinks he's some kind of god. That's the first thing. There's so many people on here that have god complexes. All you got to do is take a matchbox, throw it out, it'll hit everybody that's got a god complex. But his use, and he doesn't even capitalize raw. I mean, look at how disrespectful are you? How disrespectful! See, look at, I am the god of earth, and he's trying to break it down into light. But raw, see here, at least he capitalizes it, unlike his name. I'm the king of all blah blah blah. It's such utter nonsense. And if we keep, and this is why I'm here, because I'm the middleman. I'm the guy that says, look, oh, I don't know today. Let me go find out, and I'll go work it out and figure out what's going on. I will take the time to figure out what these people are actually trying to say. And because I've been shot, and because I deal with pain, pain is a great equalizer in keeping you even. So great pain cleans up things. So when I was in extreme pain, when I felt nerve pain, that only nerve medication, which I did not take because I don't know if I think it kills nerves. I did not take the nerve medication. And the doctors didn't seem to want to give it to me. I mean, it seemed like the nerve medication is not a good thing. But this guy right here, he's talking about the Seventh Seal and Jordan Womble. Okay, Jordan Womble is somebody that I could have made videos about, and I did not make videos about. I tried to talk to him on many, many levels. And honestly, I wish he would have talked to me, because I probably could have helped him stay away from where he was at. And if you are like Jordan Womble, please talk to somebody. So, Rod Christ, this other fucking Ken, they're maybe the same guy, I don't know, Ken 2234, Draco Slayer, the white supremacists, these hate people, these people that are filled with hate that are surrounding us. And they are surrounding me. I am surrounded when I go onto my channel. So my subscriptions are growing. I don't mind keeping it at 1728 because I'm cool with the Great Cube. But I believe these people are surrounding me to hopefully take my channel. That's their goal. Their goal is to do evil to me. But they also understand that I will not just stand here. Okay, I will not. Especially if you go to my channel and try to do something, okay? I understand how to speak to you properly. I understand how to post properly. Just like if I talk to a doctor or a lawyer or a police officer. There are things you say and there are things you do not say. But what I will say about this individual, for him to bring up somebody that has passed away, is extremely disrespectful. And then you have people like Draco Slayer, which may or may not be mentally ill. We're all making these assumptions. Everybody's making these assumptions. Well, the police have dealt with him. The police aren't legally obligated to see if he's normal. I mean, when you talk to him, he seems nuts. He's doing heavy water, which I will point out, the heavy water you can keep to like 19% or 18% of your body, and from what the studies say, it won't damage you and it'll actually protect your cells. Now, these are studies that I haven't gone through the paperwork. Obviously, I'm not posting the links. These are things that you got to have, you got to get in scientific journals. But at the same time, if you go over that 20%, it's going to kill you. But the little tiny bottles he's showing you are not 20% of his water body weight. So in all the fucking it's bullshit. So we're surrounded by insane bullshit. I'm talking to the people that are sitting in the crevices. You're sitting in the cracks. You're watching all of us. You're looking at it like it's a fucking TV. The greatest TV show ever made to man. I got Venus Key when I break down and I fucking cry on here because somebody that I care about is going through a lot of fucking pain, and they've been crying to me for fucking an hour about their real life, and then I hear something and it affects me because, listen, I used to think a long time before I spoke. I used to dwell in my mind. The mirror was extremely powerful. I am a Leo. I am hardcore Leo. I've gone through the egotistical Eric. I've gone through I can't speak. I must think, 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 think. And if you decide to pick up the banner of love and you decide, well, I want to be better than what I am right now, you can end up somewhere where you live in the now, in the moment, literally in the moment. And thank God I found internal kung fu. Thank God I found all these things. And when I say that, I mean the Most High, the unknowable and unnameable God. And for those of you that are coming against me, I put him up first and most high. And I put him up against you. And I ask him to prove that he exists. And for a lot of you, especially if you're atheists or agnostics, you look at me like I'm crazy. But again, I will say to you, he is unknowable and unnameable. And his principles are in all internal schools. It just depends what you do with the power, because it is power. Okay, there's a power in internal kung fu. It is not a joke. It's not to be given to everybody. It's the same as a yogi master. I just would think that the yogi masters tend to, within their work, they tend to take it to, well, now I'm going to become, in their mind, they can become demigods. And they can raise themselves into an astral plane where they can leave their body, but they still are living. And they say these things, but yet they're not of that. It's not like they left, the energy left their body, and the husk has no natural causes for death. If you can't think deeply and you can't overcome the mouthy theologies, the mouthy ideologies, if you can't overcome this great web around the fine line, because it's only a single line, it's just one thread, you will become the slave to every master that falls upon you. A master is somebody that wishes to make you a master, and he gives you to other masters, so that when you've been with many masters, and I do not mean sexually or pervertedly in any way, shape, or form, but when you become a man honed by many men, or a woman honed by many women, or co-ed, whatever it is. I mean, I'm talking about just the structures we have today. There's still the psychopath, or this beast that hides within man that is the great pretender, and he or she still gets the knowledge, and she still has made schools of thought. Sociopath, that's the other word. These people are still interwoven within our society, but hopefully those that are in tune to the heart are able to weed those out. And that's what's happening right now. So we have, I believe, cut the head of the snake, which has to be Queenie Cameron and Chance. They were, first and foremost, never ever a Christian. They had never had a faith in Jesus whatsoever. They practice black magic. They practice, I believe they're, Thelmalites, or however you want to say it. They obviously are practicing sex magic. I mean, all you got to do is listen to his voice. He's been getting worked on pretty heavy. And to see when they became Greg Swamp, and to see their destruction and see the shadow that came back, it's just like watching Lord of the Rings. They now are in their true form. And I just ask all of you, to call upon whatever you wish to call upon that is good if you are good and you are around me. And you don't have to say a word. Don't say a word on my channel, please. This is a spiritual battle. And it is a very quiet battle. And it is merely connecting dots. So I'm very tenacious. And this goes out to a friend now that I'm not going to ever talk about again, but he is talking to me again, and I just would like to explain if he's still here, because this is a long video and I've been talking a lot. If you are still here, you have to see my vision. You have to see the first videos and see where I am today. And all I can tell you is tenacity, being forthright, having honor, struggling every day to keep my integrity, and to show the world those that deserve to be shown for what they are, to put them in the light. Okay, to put them in the light. Pays off. It can take years. And I have to thank my grandfather for that. I could go on my living room here and I could get you the Bronco Buster. It's a statue. I've seen the statue with President Obama, although I don't believe that he holds the same integrity, sadly. We are in big troubled times. Things are not good. But the Bronco Buster breaks the spirit of the horse, right? But it's not really about taming the, and I wouldn't call a horse a beast, obviously. This is a metaphor. But having the bravery to know that you could die, that horse could knock you off, the bull can knock you off, and just stomp you out. That kind of bravery is the kind of bravery and forethought that you have to have. And you have to have the mind of a tactician. And you cannot speak about any of it. There's nothing that I will ever tell you about how I am a tactician. That would be foolhardy and stupid, wouldn't it? But I will say that I am very while I look at things very intricately, I let at the end of the day, while I have to understand it, then I give it up to my Father, and I let him do what he will with my spirit, my life, and the agenda that I believe he wants me to have. And if he doesn't, he would not have me here. Okay, this is my video. Okay, I'm giving you everything. Giving you everything. While I may not be giving you what Mac is giving you, I most certainly am giving you what you need to know to be in the presence of the Most High. That means I've broken down the literature so that you can properly study it, so that you can free yourself from dogmatic and idealistic principles. But I've also given you who they look at, who they are, and to make a choice. The choice is not as clear as everybody tries to say. Can't hate all Jesuits, can you? Can you? You hate all Jews, you hate all Arabs. You're in a world that is these are things I've already said to you many times. You are in such a multifaceted diamond that no matter how you look at it, you're not going to see it. You have to look at it in the broadest of strokes. And these poor souls that are maligned and being used through propaganda, that are buying into uneducated, ignorant propaganda, rule your world. And they fuck with you every single day. And they can be called management, they can be called your boss, they can be called your priest, they can be called whatever you want to call it, where you believe somebody is better or higher than you, or of a better race or a better color, all these nonsensical kind of ideas. Yeah, I made the word up. It is about you attaining love, true love.
Google and YouTube wouldn't let me upload this.
Heart of hate, you will never get the key.
I had to film it.
First has to be through love.
I had to film it.
Both figuratively, and then you.
Let's see if I can still get it up.
But they are one and the same.
Talk about a lot of bullshit. Everybody can say I'm
spiritually
stupid and crazy.
and matter.
Why can't I get the video up?
And it'll break down time, and it'll unwind. You'll unwind. You'll
Unwind time.
I don't think I'm saying that.
She meant
Much
unwind.
love to you guys.
Also, I think I said 2012 in there.
And every
I meant
once in a while I gotta
2020.
do this to purge myself.
I was talking about
Now the
Venus
Alpha
going
and the
through the
Omega,
Palladian system.
it's man and woman, obviously. But it's the three, because there's three lines, even though they make this one really like
369 all the time. Where's that guy
and
going
of
to
course
do?
it is the pentagram. But it slips right in here because Omega is a woman, or she is eternity. She's when you put your meter down there and it just goes to infinity. It doesn't see anything. So if I go to here, it's a complete short. This is a complete open. Together, to make a lot of things happen in the world, and it has to do with Ivy League schools and Jesuits and Romans and Muslims and the people that are already integrated into these systems that have nothing to do with the systems they're integrated into, and the secret societies of which interwove themselves into
Interwoven.
the masses and the psyche of the masses. So this is Eric Covenant Love coming to you in archaic symbolism, and I hope everybody's well, man. And I hope you're looking at these battles, and I know you want to judge me, but I'm telling you, raw Christ, utter nonsense with malicious intent. There's no other way to say it. He's uneducated, ignorant, filled with propaganda, but his propaganda and ideology is filling the hearts of people. They're buying into his bullshit. One woman, literally, how can your sisters, you have stuff about your sister passing away, and you're affiliated with this fucking asshole. I never want to make things personal, ever. But you have to understand, these people are just trash. They do not have your best interests at heart. They're not showing you any of the books. The books that I just gave you today, that's 2-3 years. Then I'll start telling you about Elitist Levi. He's got a couple of books. They're very simple, very nice stuff. One of them was like Keys to the Sun or something. Beautiful books. Show you lots of books. Carl Jung, Man and Evil. Even though he had a higher person that he was talking to at the end of his life, we have to weigh these things out rationally. We can't just buy into everything that's written. There are agendas that you need to become aware of. And the only way you're going to do that is to become well-read and raise the consciousness level. And that will bring your intuition into play. And then you will feel some of the things that you need to feel to protect yourself. Have a good night.